My name's Tibirusya Roldan. I'm a painter. I'm a souvenir painter of portraits, landscapes, and on events. Wow, I usually did it way back home when I began as a child, as a young kid, when I used to be part of the activity in our village, right? Where I would be, being a community of people where we gather and just, go to the villages and dig and, share those activities. Way back home in Kigezi. So that's why I began the whole idea of being in group painting, just specifically those souvenirs. How and I've called them souvenirs is how I just attract attention of many people. We come and achieve one piece at a time. I think that is, the communal way of doing things. That's how I've been involved. I'm inspired by nature, daily activities, the environment around me. On events, I'm always inspired by the themes of the moment. So I'm inspired by particular things, but basically the basic ones, the specific ones is nature. And the way I've grown up, I'm always inspired by nature around the environment that I stay. Society, I usually really explain it this way. The response has been captivating. At first, I presented it in this way where I could paint live and they could not understand. But whenever I'm given an opportunity to share about this painting I've done on an event and people are signing on, I usually tell them it's a souvenir. And the response is that they're always fascinated that how can an artist paint in that particular moment, seizing a moment and then present work at that particular event. So the response is fascinating, people are enjoying it, and they are having moments of interacting with the work and asking questions. So it becomes the center of interest, the center of discussion. It provokes debate as in a particular event. That's how I've defined it. Yes, I usually do these live paintings on commission, and specific I do them on weddings, on conferences, on launching of companies. Whenever the corporate companies have these events and they're launching and they want to give out gifts, I usually show up. So they commission me, or either I get percentages if they sell work on an auction. So that's how I've managed to put bread on table. One, I usually account it this way. What I've achieved is the satisfaction I derive in doing this painting. One is I've gained many friends, people have been blessed. My achievement goes back to society. I've tried to contribute to society as much as I can through these paintings, where I've sold paintings millions of money and give back to society in one way or the other. Just like raising money to build schools, for orphanages, and privileged groups have benefited. To me, achievement goes to where the money goes when we auction and raise this money. I'm always blessed by that. So it's all around. Art appreciation in Uganda as a nation. Not many people really love this creative work of expression. They are learning to understand, interpret some of these abstract images sometimes we present. And the challenge is, art appreciation. But to me, there's so much that I could say that is challenging is the art material. Then the other bit of it is a lack of motivation. Artists are not motivated. And even talk about ministries are not supporting. There's no other ministry that can support art. As an individual, I'm concerned really. And I find it me standing in to be an active, being maybe a culture and art activist. Where I come in, I want to share this art, take art to to where they are, in conferences, weddings, everywhere. Just I go, I want to share with people my art, and again I discover I don't really buy it so much. As an explanation, but they are enjoying it. Okay, the message usually I want to tell the people out there, really artists, put a road. This is art that comes from their soul. And I usually want to mention that, you could support at least, give a hand. And then if needs to, for an explanation for a piece of art, engaging the artist. Because artists have a lot of work with themselves in their studios, in the galleries, but no people are just visiting to see. So my encouragement, and even for this particular season, let everyone go to the gallery and find out, check it out what an artist has, and then at least collect a piece of art for your wall. You're supporting an artist and you're decorating your house, then someone else can be inspired even to buy a second one. So my message could be that support us. We're the artists, we're the visual artists that will really present work. Unlike the performing artists, maybe the CDs are sold and on the radio, but for us we are more of the pictures. We communicate visually. So not necessarily pictures, I'm talking about the painting, the sculptures, the designs, the graphics. It's all around. When you talk of sale of a piece of art, like how do I earn monthly, I look at two things. How I just get commission, people visit me at the gallery at my studio and give me a portrait or two. I consider that I usually get, of course, the material, buy the material and balance it. Maybe for a service, it's just maybe let me mention of 500 per month. For now. I think for the future, because I'm trying to share this more in detail, I think I will be getting much more, but 500 a month can be viable. Usually a portrait, I sell it life size, oil painted, is around 500. Then for a landscape, I can sell a landscape at $1 million shillings, because it depends on where I've done it. And sometimes I paint open air, so that one is more, I don't know, it's a different price, which I can sell it at $1 million shillings. Then some of the pieces I exhibit in the gallery, I sell them differently. It ranges from 200, 300, and 500, depends on the size. Even have a piece of 50,000. So it's minimal. My greatest time has been when I did a live painting, and I got an opportunity for my mother from home had to put a signature, and then again the president of the nation, His Excellency the President Museveni, had to sign on it. So they shared the canvas, my mom and the president. So that was my greatest moment, because mom had desired to have a moment like that. So it was greatest because I was sharing it through the live painting I was doing. So to me, it was the greatest moment in this career of art I've achieved. I've seen so far, I've witnessed with my naked eyes. For live painting, when I see it in the next 10 years, because one, me being a pioneer of this creative idea of souvenirs, I happen to be the author of the understanding of souvenir paintings, where people, on my painting, they sign on, putting a statement or witnessing or adding value to it. So I'm seeing this culture to have grown and spread to the rest of the world, because the vision is starting here in Uganda and spreading to the rest of Africa and even the other continents. So I see myself in the next 10 years to have established galleries all over the continent. Whether big or small, but galleries that where I can access a piece of art that is preserved for a particular purpose. Maybe a souvenir painting, which they've achieved on a great event. I'm looking at that. Then for the art, I would have really got many people who are following this trend of the painting live, and they have a culture within them that paintings can be part of their culture. So mine is to see that it would have grown and have captured from where it is now. The outside response here, I look at a few things that capture my heart really. I've traveled a bit, but let me give an example. The nearest place I could mention is Nairobi here. My other brothers in Nairobi, recently when I crossed over and I was doing the live painting on an event, they were very amazing. They were saying, you come and we establish. And it was a thing of faster. So I discovered that comparing to Uganda, where I am now, people outside there, they much seem to capture what I could do, and they understand it much faster than the home ground. That's what I could mention it. But I see the outside world buying it more faster than even the home ground. So it's my duty to really let these people sensitize them about this painting I've tried to do for some time and share, in detail. That's how I really look at it. But the difference is much. I'm talking about the contrast between the outside world there and here. As an artist, passionately, I've tried to, spend my resources, not spending, but using resourcefully, using what I earn to make this painting thing be known everywhere I go. And I've never got tired to share my creative ways of painting on events everywhere. So I've taken it too far from a studio setting to outside there, where there's conference, where there's a meeting. I paint and interpret this, the moment there. I interpret the sessions. So I've invested more in the time getting there, where there's an event, a concert, people are doing a launch. I've invested in time to make it better, and here's how I've done it is to share. I'm talking about sharing it on and on. And the moment, every time I go out and share it about this painting and tell them, this is what I do, this is what I've been doing. Everyone says, okay, how is it? Some have not seen it, they're fascinated, and they're like, oh wow, this guy, we're inviting you for our party, we're inviting you for our wedding, we're inviting you for our conference. Like several of them have been invited. Like at the launch of recently, when first we're going to put it of Choga, we're going to put it of Uganda Communications Commission celebrating 10th anniversary. They invited me to be part of their function. It was, it made me proud, because identifying with such projects is very, it's captivating, and to me, I'm motivated to do it again and again. And the specific, like the recent event that happened at the Serena, where the two presidents, President His Excellency Nkurunziza of Burundi and President Museveni of Uganda, they were part of this gathering. I was there, raising money for the breast cancer care fund. And at the end of the day, I got an opportunity to interact, shake hands with these presidents and interact with them, share 2 or 3 words, which at the end of the day, I discovered that it was my quest to reach out there and even share the art with those presidents anyway, because I got an opportunity to talk to them and tell them what I intend to do and what I do with this art. So every moment I seize it and want to share about this painting. I never get tired to share it really. I usually derive it from, there's several people who have been very significant in my life. One, I look at my mom. My mother is back home, Kigezi. Has been very, since I was growing up as a young kid, I've been seeing mom trying to be creative, doing beadworks and trying to gather, bottle tops and being crafty for a purpose. I'm talking about where I could see him gathering things, recycling things and making our home beautiful. My mom has been an inspiration to whatever I do, and that bit of it is my elder sister Amanda. She went for a course at the university, so she was doing art. So every time I could see her paintings, I want to imitate what she paints. And I found out that I was capturing, I was getting in the system, because I saw my elder sister had something to guide me anyway. Then the other bit of it is when I went to school, I had this high school teacher called Kamusha Edward Sajagi. This gentleman, so amazing, was helpful, because I used to see his painting, especially he used to do wildlife paintings, and he was selling them, and the fact that they were very beautiful and there was a price attached to them, I believed that one day I could be a great artist. Then another inspiration is the statement I shared with my dad when I was a young man, and all my mind has never escaped, because when we were young and my dad got me home and asked me, man, what do you want to be in the future? Then when I told him, I explained, like when you're a young man and you want to share this, I said, Dad, I want to be a great artist. He said, what? And I'm expecting you to be to be this doctor, this engineer, and who can transform people, who can treat people, who can do this. I said, I want to be a creator. I said, no. He said, no, I don't want to waste my fees. You go be a doctor. But later on, I told my dad, I said, you know what? I will never share with you anything else again. I said, I will just continue. I want to be a great artist, and history will tell. I said history will testify. And since that time, we didn't have an more conversation. But I worked so hard to see that at one point, for a nation to make a statement, that's my desire. And I've always wanted to really stand out from the crowd, even among the many artists. Really. That is some of the key areas that inspires you, and even up to date, to think well as an artist. It is a source of inspiration from mom to my teacher, my sister, and my dad, and up to date, even the environment around me. The artists that exist, really, they are so hardworking. There are many artists around me that I look up to who have tried to make a statement, even here in Uganda, doing this kind of art. And the life I've lived, I define art as a way of life. And through a paintbrush, I've learned many lessons as an individual, as an artist. As me, it has built me up to make who I am. Maybe being known, or putting me to an extreme where I can influence, where I can share, share a piece of art, using this creative artistry to share this love and hope in Africa. So to me, it is, I really have this explanation, as I want to say, the background of school. When I was in high school, and then when I came to Makerere University, Margaret Royal School of Industrial Fine Art, there's so much, I had a lot of expectations. But at the end of the day, I discovered, learning begins when you end even school. Because so much, after Form 6, that's when I began practicing. Then when I joined university at Makerere, I had moments of asking myself, why does this art going to take me? And those so many questions, they made me wise to interpret it this way, and innovatively, creatively came up with this concept of souvenir paintings. And this is how it began painting live, and began making people sign my work, began interacting with different artists, and at the end of the day, so much we benefited from. There's a miracle for you. I've always been challenged. Being an artist, I have this conviction within me. I have a personal philosophy of producing an artwork that reveals the Spirit of God, and I have a conviction that when you ask me a role model, there's one person who really challenges me. We read the story, the man who overcame death. So I'm always challenged by this person and say, how could someone stand in the gap for someone to, for this, was it love? That's a question I could ask myself. Okay. Then it comes to a point where I say, which icon is? I really want to imitate Christ, because I've believed at at this age, that there's someone special. There is something that you engage in, and then you learn something from it. Not necessarily, looking at maybe the best guy in America, but I've learned that there's some specific way. Even someone who is written in the books of archives, who is written in the book of life. Talk about the man who is in the Bible. Say, I've always looked up to him, to imitate his values, character. Even up to now, in the pursuits of art, I would love always to imitate Christ in what I do. 34 of them. The major one is the Chogam event. I painted a piece when, first at Chogam, it was an event that I held here in Kampala. I painted, it was a Chogam walk from Entebbe to Kampala. I painted a piece of art depicting the essence of what was taking place in that region. Then there was this, the Uganda Communications Commission was celebrating 10th anniversary. I painted a souvenir which was signed by delegates. Then there is the Kirk Franklin concert. When Kirk came here, I was doing his dance live, and I painted the impression of his face. Then Kirk signed on. And several souvenirs I've done. I painted on Bahimba Festival, International Festival, National Theatre, which had gathered most of African artists. So promote culture and art. I've painted on National Breast Cancer Care Fund with Red Cross dinner, and I've painted on with the Soweto Swing Quartet at the Serena, same place. I've painted on there are very many, but all I could really mention of the events I've been very many, but the particular ones that have been charity events, more of charitable kind of projects that I engage in. Being specific, I think I've raised 150 million, over 150 million in particular events I've been on, where I sell a piece of art at 30 million, 25 million, 50 million. For this specific other projects through auctions, where I go and even I paint and then auction this work. So I've contributed towards that in that direction, where I'm convinced that really these many events that come up, I've been contributing to society, because this is something that I use to sell a piece of art to put a smile on someone's face, create an impact. So I've always been involved in that for several events in that direction. Yeah, through these paintings I usually do, I've loved to always share this, that there's a satisfaction that lies in this whole thing of painting and then raising money for a purpose, and then is where my art is put out there and it adds value to the environment. If it can pay school fees for a street kid, to me it's a blessing. So I'm satisfied. That satisfaction I like when I sell a piece of art for a purpose, especially for a cause. So I'm always blessed when I see people benefiting from it, and I'm benefiting from it as an artist. Because I'm talking about financially, social, even economical. You find that it's one at a time. So to all the artists, patience works, and then being more involved, taking your time, sacrifice time and be there. Never get tired of sharing about this art that we do. Just keep telling people. To me, that's how I define it. Then if you're still at school, I think more important is to take your art seriously, because for us we're depending on art. I'm a painter, and I'm a sculptor, I'm a landscape painter, I can do all sorts of things with art. So take school serious and then consider art. I think it would make more sense for real. This is a souvenir live painting for today's event. So it's an explosion with color, and the way you're seeing it, and I think by the end of this event, it will be, worthy to be called a souvenir piece of art. So that's what I'm doing. Live painting is more of using color and on a stretched canvas. This is an art canvas, so I paint as the session is going on, depicting the essence of what is taking place on this ground. So what you're seeing here is a brush stroke at its, doing the job. I can paint and depict the impression of what is on. So as what you're seeing, it depicts the message, an interpretation of what today is like. Composition of music and sharing, I can hear some cups and the bottles and the glassy wines around. So that's an impression of what I'm doing. If there's fun, people are doing it well, and if there's the music, there is an impression that someone can be doing the music. Why the bright? I think it's more of my desire is to provoke, debate. Just like you say, why, what is it all about? So it provokes thought to engage in an interactive kind of art. That even what you're seeing here, you say, I'm biased. No, I'm not biased. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and people asking what's going on. So it's part of it. I'm enjoying it, and they're enjoying it. I usually want to, teach someone. So when I talk about, I'm trying to share this culture of painting with other people. It's an initiative. It's a new idea. It's new in our environment here. I'm talking about in Uganda. I happen to be the pioneer of this creative idea, and when I paint, I usually engage people to paint. And like I've told you, being an African man, I'm trying to share this conviction I have about with this painting. So a conviction is that anyone can paint even when the session is going on.
So it's about having a moment of sharing your canvas, and then you can, you're thinking, because asking me questions. So this is part of it. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. But as an African, I'm trying to make a statement that even, we can still, paint and have this whole thing using the colors. I can still do a portrait. I can still do, a face of a woman. Or if I could, I can still do it, and you see it. But what I'm trying to, summarize here is an impression that whatever I'm doing, it's more of abstract. I can do semi-abstract and then have something like I could add on. So this is part of it.